Good day, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say good evening, focus camera. Welcome to another episode of Beneath the Tavern, a Hearthstone podcast and more sometimes. A place where we talk mostly Hearthstone. I'm your host, NibletK, and today we'll be continuing our journey into the Revelation reviewing extravaganza of the Boomsday project. A lot has happened this week. Blizzard has been really good in showing us what it is that is coming new to Hearthstone. So without further ado, first things first, we're gonna watch Enter the Boom Labs episode 3. So here goes nothing, boys and girls. Oh my god, that is too loud.
Glad you can join us.
Let's make full screen.
Master plan is almost complete.
Let's continue watching this. Also, there's a little bit of reality showing from time to time since we have a fan in the room.
No! Peter! Jamaro? Hadija? Dave? Where are you? Anyone? No! Where's the light switch? Come on. Oh.
Whoa.
Whose lab is
nice.
this?
Dr. Boom.
Well, whoever it is, it looks like he's been doing experiments on mechs. Peter's a mech. I hope he's all right.
Oh, he's more than all right. He's my greatest invention ever. Come forth, so the whole universe knows the genius of Dr. Boom.
Peter?
I made his new chassis with my greatest invention ever!
Didn't you just say...
Silence! Behold!
Discover a mech? If you have 10 mana, keep all 3 cards! What late-game madness is this?
That's not all, intern! I have your precious developers, too! Now who can possibly stand against me? Save it, poultry! I put a control unit in you! You can't... What? How? I definitely remember to install the... control unit. No matter. It's
Control
time
unit.
to reveal.
Your greatest invention ever.
Exactly! I'm suiting up!
Wow! Oh, it's the best fight scene ever! Oh, if only someone else could see this. Oh, the others! How do I get you out of there? How do
This
I
is
get
definitely
you home?
cool.
Wow, well, that is convenient.
Conveniently activated by Boombox.
Let's go home! Peter!
Oh no, Peter! It's a chicken again. Peter! Well, it seems that Chicken Peter is back home safely, at least. Okay, now that was cool. That was definitely cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. I really liked the way they did the new fun interactive series with the whole cartoon bit and the real life acting, I guess. Okay, let's get into the extra thick pudding of it. Extra thick. Alright, let's get to the cards. The new cards. A ton of new cards have been revealed. Now, go visit playhearthstone.com. Go on Twitter and follow me as well. Follow Hearthstone, follow HS something, HS Top Decks. What else should you follow? Hearthstone. Just follow Hearthstone, HS, Top Decks, and like I said, there was another one, Hearthstone. Really good tweets, sites with every little bit of information. You always get like the newest thing that popped up. You're gonna get this kind of quality content from them, so definitely give them a follow. And now that we've established that what you should follow, let's get to the gist of it. Latest card that has been revealed. Let's see. This is the Mad Scientist for Rogue, Myra Rotspring. Okay, 5 mana for 2. Now that's interesting stats wise. It's not good. Now let's see what she does. Bellcry, discover a death rattle minion. Also gain its death rattle. Oh, interesting. So you get to choose between 3 death rattles and also place that minion into your hand. I would say that's actually not that bad. It's a death rattle minion, and it also gives you another death rattle minion, so it's 2 values at once. Yeah, I see some potential there. I mean, it's definitely interesting, especially with Test Grainmane, because you can find maybe other death rattles that didn't start in your deck or not, aren't from your class specific. So then Test activates as well. Could be interesting. Could definitely be interesting. I don't know exactly on what kind of decks this card will go. However, not a bad legendary. I'd say it's a somewhat of a middle ground-ish legendary. Let's go to the next one. We have a Paladin spell, Shrinkray. Okay, set the attack and health of all minions to 1. Interesting. So this is kind of like an overpowered equality, I guess, because it also affects the attack values. It has a pretty high mana cost, and I don't believe Paladin actually needs this. However, it depends. With having access to more tools like this, maybe another kind of control style Paladin will emerge. Oh, hey there. Sorry about earlier and stuff. Gotta do my show. Welcome. So, I'm not really sure about this card. I'll have to wait and see if with another shell of a Paladin, so to say, maybe control style will be back if we have enough tools, and maybe this will fit in there. However, I don't think so. I doubt this is a good card. Next we have a Priest Legendary. Ooh, this guy looks really cool. He looks really, really cool. Okay, Cybertek Master Cloner. A 6 mana 5/5. Okay, so that's a decent minion. I don't have a giveaway today. Okay, Cybertek Master Cloner. Death Rattle. If you've cast any spells on this minion, resummon it. Fritz, that title has been there for over a week. It's a command. It's a command that you can give inside chat, and it lets you see if there is something like that active or not, or get info about it. Okay, so Zarek Master Cloner has an interesting effect. It's also Death Rattle, so Death Rattle Priest might be really good in the upcoming expansion. So that means Quest Priest might be getting back into the meta. I'd say this is a pretty good card, and definitely interesting. It's an interesting mechanic. Next we have a Mage spell, 1 mana. Okay. Shooting Star, deal 1 damage to a minion and the minions next to it. I think that's pretty OP in a way, but it doesn't allow you to go really high power into killing only 1 minion. So this is a good way to spread your damage. It's definitely an interesting tool. Might be useful for highly aggressive decks, because essentially it's kind of like a better... What's the mage card that does 1 damage to all enemy minions and costs 2 mana? That's what I'm talking about. It's a better version of that, but it only influences like 3 minions, right? I'd say this card is good. It's definitely good, especially if you go Mana Worm and whatever he plays has like 1 health or something like that, or even on turn 3 you can play this and get rid of his board maybe, and also ping something away that has 2 health, keep your minions alive. Could have some potential, and considering that Mage is going to get a little bit of a spell power pushed in its class, this thing will definitely be good. With spell power, it's like deal 2 damage to 3 random minions that are close to each other. It's better than Kona Cold, which is 4 mana. Of course, it also freezes, but it essentially does only 1 damage to 3 minions, right? This does the same thing for 1 mana, but it doesn't freeze. Would you play this instead of that? Potentially. Next we have Cosmic Anomaly. It's also an elemental, so elementals in Mage are really good, especially with the Death Knight. So okay, it's gonna be interesting to see once the Death Knights actually rotate out how this is going to be. Okay, so Cosmic Anomaly. It's a 4 mana 4/3, so a little bit weird stats. So it's kind of like offensive, because it can die easily, so you have to play it really carefully. Also, it has spell damage +2. So like I said, a lot of spell damage is going to come into the Mage class. I think it's a good card. It's definitely a good one. I don't know if we're gonna go that far into having a lot of spell damage and utilizing the new spells, or just going on with burn. This might actually be pretty good with a lot of arcane intellects and whatnot, fireballs and stuff like that. This thing with fireball and frostbolt, that is, I believe, 13 damage, which ain't bad. Okay, next we have the Scientist for Paladin. Now let's see. Well, Paladin is getting a small minion. Crystalsmith Kangor. 2 mana 1/2. So the stats aren't great, because usually a 2 mana minion has either weak stats of 2/2 or potential good stats, which is like a 3/2 or a 2/3. So the stats are a little bit underwhelming. Let's see what it has. Divine Shield and Lifesteal. Your healing is doubled. So everything that you heal is doubled. That's an interesting effect. So potentially with this card, if you buff it up, you heal for a lot. It has potential, but on its own, it's not that exciting, so to say. You could try to make a heal Paladin. However, against other control matchups, I'm pretty sure all of your minions, and including this thing, will die pretty easily. Okay, on to the next one. We have a rogue spell, 4 mana, academic espionage. Shuffle 10 cards from your opponent's class into your deck. They cost 1. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is amazing. This is truly amazing. This is going to make Test Rogue insane. Plus with the legendary that lets you draw your entire deck, then playing this, putting 10 cards that only cost 1 in your deck that are from your opponent's class. You get to play them fast, and then you play your tests, and you get a huge value swing. Ooh-wah. That could be really good. We'll just have to see how effective this is. I mean, Rogue is definitely gonna have some interesting tools in this upcoming expansion, with getting rid of its deck, getting to put other things inside of the deck, shuffling a lot of stuff. It cannot fatigue. It can definitely not fatigue. A lot of people said, okay, so I'm gonna draw my entire deck and burn the rest of it because I can only hold 10 cards. What am I gonna do afterwards? But they're getting a lot of tools to recompensate for that. So it's actually not bad. Pretty cool. I like it. I think this card is definitely gonna be a little bit overpowered, in my opinion. It's 4 mana, gain 10 cards. It doesn't even matter. I mean, of course they're random, but you're gonna gain 10 cards. Imagine if you get a Death Knight for 1 mana from your opponent's class. A 1 mana Gul'dan, or a 1 mana Malfurion, a 1 mana Raxar. I'm not even gonna go into the Warlock class. If you're gonna play against Warlock, you might get 1 mana Void Lords. That is OP. Going on next. This is a neutral minion. Okay. Missile launcher. Mech. Okay. Sorry, guys. 6 mana 4/4. So the stats are not great. It has magnetic, so that means you can utilize it as a buff. Let's see. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all other characters. So it's an end of turn effect, AoE, that deals 1 to everything except itself. It's like a small Barongeddon, because it also hits players, not just minions. That could be interesting. If you manage to make like 1 big mech that is immune to spells and only through random board clears can go dead, this could be actually powerful, because you're effectively always going to do damage at the end of the turn plus whatever else you have in your arsenal. Okay, Warrior legendary spell, 9 mana, so pretty high cost. The Boom Ship. Summon 3 random minions from your hand. Give them rush. Okay, so if you're playing with only big minions or high value death rattle minions, for instance, you get to utilize some trades and also get a ton of value in that turn specific. Could be interesting. We'll just have to see exactly what kind of deck archetype is going to revolve around this card, but it's definitely something that is going to inspire a lot of people to try out some interesting things. because you might end up having a lot of legendaries like that Grandmaster Funky Yip or something like that, or Rotface, and just summoning all of those things and then playing one Whirlwind, having a ton of armor, just getting a lot of value, summoning another random legendary, plus summoning a 10 cost minion perhaps if you have more than 10 armor. That can already be like a huge board swing for one card. All that it requires is for you to have those minions in hand, and then you just play this. It can be a huge combo turn. Definitely an interesting concept. Also, the art is really cool. the art is really cool. Okay, next we have Eureka! 6 mana. I believe this is a, by the looks of it, I would say yes it is. It's a Shaman card. 6 mana spell. Summon a copy of a random minion from your hand. We can see there's a little flame elemental or something like that. So summon a copy of a random minion from your hand. Interesting. This would incentivize you to play something big, to have bigger, high quality creatures. For instance, if you have a Lich King in your hand and you play this, you can get a Lich King out on the board on turn 6, which is pretty strong. Plus having still the Lich King in your hand for turn 8. So that allows you to put a lot of pressure on turns that you really shouldn't be able to. Or maybe a Deathwing. 6 mana, 12/12 is pretty hard to counter. Could be interesting. Could be, maybe Big Shaman is going to start appearing. Let's see another card. Okay, Hunters. Fireworks Tech. 2 mana, 2/1. Okay, so not really high on stats, but decent. Bellcry. Give a friendly Mech +1/+1. If it has Death Rattle, trigger it. Okay, so another thing that synergizes with Death Rattle. However, it has to be a Mech with Death Rattle, because it doesn't say a friendly minion, it says a friendly Mech, and if that thing has Death Rattle, then it triggers. So you can't really play this with Egg, which is okay. We don't really need too much exaggeration with that. So I kind of like the flavor of it, and it's also not a Mech, so you gotta keep it in balance. I like the flavor of it. Well, we will just have to see exactly when all of the mechs are out, and we get to actually play with them to see exactly how good they synergize with one another. Because in theory, you can do a lot of stupid stuff in theory, but you never know exactly how powerful or how good that is, because in theory you can go like all the way and say, oh, this is going to do that and that and that and that, but you never really know what you're going to counter and how good the counters are for your mechs. Okay. Neutral minion, 6 mana, 2/2. Now that is really bad for stats. However, let's see what happens. So it is a mech. I like the artwork, it's really cool. Mechanical Whelp. So whelps in general are small dragons. Okay. Death Rattle. Summon a 7/7 mechanical dragon. Okay, so you don't really want to kill this thing? Could be interesting. So this is kind of the thing that you don't want to kill. This thing can get +1/+1, and you can activate its Death Rattle. You get a 3/3. Then you get a 7/7. The 3/3, if it dies, it summons another 7/7, and you still get a 2/1 on the board. Could be interesting. Plus, if the opponent doesn't silence this or doesn't deal with it fast enough, you can also magnetic something on it and start getting a lot of value like that. So I think silence is really going to be needed in this upcoming meta. Okay, next we have a 1 mana 1/3 Eternium Rover. This is a warrior Mech card. Whenever this minion takes damage, gain 2 armor. Interesting. So a lot of armor gain again. This has potential. So Mech warrior might actually be viable. I don't know exactly how far, but we'll see. We'll definitely try some things out with mechs, because mechs are the main thing, I guess, the main attraction of the set, plus the whole science project theme. Okay, next we have a legendary. So this is the legendary scientist for Hunter. 7 mana 5/5 Bellcry. Summon 4 0/2 Goblin Bombs. And I believe the 0/2 Goblin Bombs have death rattle, deal 2 damage to your opponent. So that is deal 8 damage. 7 mana 5/5 deal 8 over a couple of turns. Plus summon a lot of mechs that you can actually buff utilizing the magnetic synergy. So it's really good because they don't want to kill that because they take a lot of damage. They leave you tokens for you to summon or upgrade. Could be good. Could definitely be good. I mean, this guy, Boom Master Flark, is definitely like at a rave party. Yeah, he's all high on explosives and whatnot. Cool card. If mechs don't really work for Hunter, then this thing is going to be pretty much trash. If mech synergy is pretty good, then this card is definitely gonna have its place. Okay, 2 mana Christology. It's a Paladin spell. Draw 2 1 attack minions from your deck. Okay, at 2 mana, draw 2 cards, but specifically 1 attack minions. Interesting. I mean, it's good to draw your early mechs, I believe, because you can draw your frame bots, so that could be interesting, and then you go on from there. It's a decent card. It's a decent draw card. It all depends on what kind of 1-costs you want in your deck, and if those are specific 1-drops that you really build your deck around, at least for, let's say, 60% of your deck synergy. Interesting. Next we have a Druid card, 8 mana 4/4 Gloop Sprayer. Okay, the whole Gloop thing. Bellcry, summon a copy of each adjacent minion. Ooh, that is powerful. That is powerful. I believe that is really powerful in like really big high value taunt druid, because once you go Master O card and you summon a bunch of stuff and your opponent can't really maybe deal with the taunts, you can place this between any 2 taunts that you have. You're gonna get 2 more of them. So that's pretty good value. Imagine if you have like already Hadronox cubed and you summon this beside your cube, you're going to get another cube with 2 Hadronoxes in it. So it's effectively another kind of like a faceless manipulator, but it also is a 4/4 on the board that summons 2 extra copies of 2 different things. So it's really more than that. But it has to be your own minions. So you gotta have minions on the board to get value from this. But it is an 8 mana 4/4 that summons 2 more minions. So the stat value of this card can go really high depending on what your current board state is. I think this is going to be a good card. But it all depends on what you're gonna play. Even Malygos, if they can't deal with your Malygos, you get another one plus something else that you might have on the board, and then you can, if they can't deal with that, then you can play another one of this between your 2 Malygoses, and you're gonna get effectively 4 Malygoses on the board. That is already broken. Plus you also have the new legendary, which effectively is a 4 mana Malygos. Druid is gonna get some broken stuff. It all depends on how well the combo works, and if they manage to ramp fast enough, which they usually can, and they have tools for that, and not die, which also they manage to do that by getting a bunch of armor and stabilizing on the board by utilizing really high impactful taunt minions. Okay, next we have Omega Assembly. It's a 1 mana warrior card. So the Omega cards are those cards that do basically nothing when they are in their current state. So this is a 1 mana discover a mech. However, Omega cards, whenever you play them on turn 10, basically having 10 mana in your hand, in your mana pool, you do something really broken. So for 1 mana, you can discover 3 cards. Because that's what it says. It says discover a mech, and if you have 10 mana crystals, you keep all 3 cards. Because you're always shown 3 options and you have to choose one. Being on 10 mana, you get 3 cards. So that's a good value, I guess. Getting 3 random things for 1 mana is really good. I think this card is a little bit overpowered, and Warrior is the kind of class that can actually go into the late game and start assembling really high value. Like I said, Mech Warrior might be interesting, might be a thing, especially with the new legendary hero. Okay, Pogo Hopper, Pogo. 2 mana 1/1 mech, so it's also a mech. For rogue, it's a rogue card. Nice little bunny. Okay, Bellcry, gain +2/+2 for each other Pogo Hopper you played this game. So Shadow Step plus duplicates or whatever it is that you can do with this card. This is always going to be bigger and bigger. So if you manage to play more than just 2 of these things, the first one's going to be a 1/1, the second one is going to be a 3/3 for 2 mana, and so on and so on. Like the third copy that you actually get to play, if you get to play a third copy, is going to be a 5/5 for 2 mana. The fourth copy, if you manage to play that, is going to be a 7/7 for 2 mana. That's big. Might be interesting to play with even rogue. That might be something new that we might get as an archetype. Could be interesting. Okay. That little piggy looks a little bit exhausted. Cybertek chip. 2 mana spell for hunters. Give your minions Death Rattle, add a random mech to your hand. So this is like Infest, but for less mana, and instead of getting a random beast, you get a random mech when your minions die. This is powerful. This is definitely powerful. because it effectively lets you redraw as many minions as you have on the board. For instance, Unleash the Hounds plus this is a 5 mana combo that allows you to basically get as many cards as your opponent has minions. If your opponent has 5 minions, you get 5 minions in your hand for 5 mana. Cool. I think this is a good card for Hunter specifically. It's definitely gonna be good with Unleash the Hounds. Next we have another neutral card, a 7 mana 7/7. So stats are okay, decent. Star Aligner. Battlecry. If you control 3 minions with 7 health, deal 7 damage to all enemies. Ooh, that is high value, however, really high probability that you don't have that many minions. Unless you're a druid and you play Hadronox and you have a bunch of minions that have over 7 health. This is a good tool afterwards to pretty much wipe your opponent's board and do 7 face damage, allowing you to plow through everything that he had in front of you with all of your other minions summoned by Hadronox. And you also have enough mana to switch the health and attack values afterwards, hitting them in the face for a gazillion damage. That's a nice combo. I mean, it's a nice finisher combo after Hadronox. Could work. This could actually work. Cool. 4 mana 2/4 Mech for rogues. Blight Nozzle Crawler. Deathrel, summon a 1/1 ooze with Poisonous and Rush. Okay, so you kind of have to dictate the trade into something, kill this thing, and then potentially kill something else immediately if you want to. Has potential, however, it's a little bit clunky to maneuver. I don't know, I don't like it that much. Has a nice flavor, but we have better removal tools on 5 mana. Oh, okay. Here's the card that was revealed on Omni Stone, Omni Slash, with Brian Kibler, Frodan, and Firebat, together with Peter from level 5. Very nice review. Okay. 9 mana legendary spell for Priest. Zarek's Cloning Gallery. Summon a 1/1 copy of each minion in your deck. I have no idea how to value this card. People say it's meh. It really depends on what kind of archetype you're gonna go for. Probably Quest Priest with a lot of good Deathrel minions. So you want to have really good impactful minions because you're only gonna get 1/1s of them. So that means they have to leave you with something good afterwards they die. Because investing 9 mana to get a board full of 7 1/1s is not that impactful. Druid can do that for 4 mana, and they can still do something besides that, and it's more impactful. So I'm guessing Death Rattle or end of turn effects have to be something that you're gonna go for. Okay, 5 mana 2/1. Stats are bad. However, neutral card, Giggling Inventor. Bellcry, summon 2 1/2 mechs with Taunt and Divine Shield. So summon 2 Annoyatrons. Annoyatrons are really annoying. That's what their name is, and that's what they do. They annoy people.
Thanks. I got this strong because you were all there for me.
Hey, thank you. Imnit Stock just subscribed. Thank you for the subscription. Much appreciated. Yeah, welcome to the Iron Roar. How you doing? Welcome. Okay, so I believe this card is going to be really, really powerful, especially in like a control deck that really wants to mess around with really aggressive decks. You just slam this down. They have to basically hit one of your cards. They have to hit 4 times. Hey, nice stream, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate it a lot. Every little bit that you guys support the channel, every little bit counts for me in here, in my heart. It allows me to do greater stuff, learn more, and be more enthusiastic and more into it for you guys. Let's continue with our review now. Okay. Like I said, this card is going to be really good. Sure, it's just a 2-1, but you get 2 more 1/2s. So that's essentially a 4/5 for... Yeah, it's a 4/5 Taunt Divine Shield, or double Divine Shield, double Taunt for 5 mana. It's really good. It's good. Next we have another Priest spell. 2 mana Cloning Device. Discover a copy of a minion in your opponent's deck. This could be interesting. This all depends on what the meta is going to be. I need to go, bro. Keep up the great work. Hey, thank you so much for the support. Whose rank is? What the? Okay, I'm not gonna. Jesus Christ, oh, my lord. Okay, you got me there. You guys are funny. Also, welcome, Rankies. Good for him. Okay, Cloning Device. Discover a copy of a minion in your opponent's deck. You guys are insane. Cloning Device. Discover a copy of a minion in your deck. This is going to really be interesting depending on what the meta is. So if you know that, for instance, Druid is going to have a lot of high impactful minions, then you can actually discover really good minions, putting them in your deck. That should be pretty good. That should be pretty good. Okay. Okay. Celestial Emissary. 2 mana, 2/1. Another elemental, so Mage definitely getting a lot of elemental love. So Bellcry, your next spell this turn has spell damage +2. So it's a nice, cheap way of adding spell damage +2, but only this turn and only for the first spell you cast. So Fireball can deal 8, and that's a 6 mana combo, and then you can play another one of these with Ice Bolt, and that is another 5 damage. So that's 13 damage. Okay. this card is definitely going to be good. It's going to be especially good defensive-wise, because you can play this plus, what's the 6 mana Icy Rain? Oh, come on, help me out, guys. Help me out, my brain is frozen today.
I got this strong because you were all
Cog's
there
Whistle
for me.
is now following. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it a whole lot. Plus, you can't see my face, but I'm laughing, you see? I appreciate it. The support you guys are giving me today definitely goes to the heart. I forgot. But even with Flame Strike, for instance, that is a 6 mana over the board, 6 damage over the board for 9 mana. Plus, you get a 2/1 on the board. That's also an elemental. You can ping it off with Frostless Jaina, get your water elementals out easier. Has a lot of synergies with the entire big spell mage, so to say. Okay, dude. I ain't gonna get in the way of a love story, but like I said, I appreciate all of the support. Drop by anytime. You're always welcome here. Next we have 7 mana 5/5 Astromancer. Another what the hell? You guys are insane. Another mage card. Let's see what this thing does. It should do something spectacular, I believe, because it is an epic. So Bellcry, summon a random minion with cost equal to your hand size. Oh, so hand mage. This is gonna go well with Archmage Arugula or whatever that thing is called. Because you're gonna get a lot of minions, right? You want to play with a lot of minions. Also, the spell, the book book that lets you draw 3 cards, and if they're minions, you can keep them. So it definitely allows you to have a big hand size. You can play giants in there, mountain giants, and you also can play this. Having a huge hand size. Playing this allows you to get a 5/5 on the board and a random 8 cost, 9 cost, or 10 cost, whatever the case may be. However, a 10 cost is kind of hard to get because even if you have 10 cards in your hand, you're still going to play this. You're going to always have a maximum of 9 cards in your hand. So you can't actually get a 10 cost card on the battlefield, but 9 is like the maximum. But even so, like 5 mana and above, if you already have like 5 cards left in your hand and you play a 7 mana 5/5, getting another random 5 drop, there are a lot of elementals on 5. This thing I think is pretty decent for mage, especially being like hyper aggressive with board control, minion style aggression, which that kind of deck actually synergizes with. This thing helps a lot. It's going to give you another kind of flooding mechanic of the board. Not too high impact, so not over the top broken. I'm glad to see that Blizzard is thinking about not allowing you to get just like with Spiteful Summoner, getting like random 10 cost cards and legendaries and having a small pool of high impactful 10 cost cards that you always get like really over the top broken things early on in the game. This is already put at 7 mana, so it's not 6 mana, just like Spiteful Summoner was before. So I think that's a really good thing to see that Blizzard is learning from past design ideas or flawed designs, so to say. Not necessarily it's a flawed design, just the balance of the design, so to say, was a little bit off. And it's nice to see that they're learning from their past mistakes, so to say, and they're implementing what they have learned into new more effective and more balanced cards, such as Astromancer. Okay, this guy looks like a really douchey hipster thing. I don't know. That face deserves a punch. A punch in the face. Plus, it's a priest card. Priest usually deserves a punch in the face. But hey, that's just me. Also, it's an Omega card. So let's see what it does. Normally played, it's a 3 mana 3/4. It's good stats. It's decent. It does nothing. Because it says Bellcry, if you have 10 mana crystals, so only if you have 10 mana crystals does the Battlecry actually take effect. Restore 10 health to your hero. So it's a really late game heal yourself back up for a lot of health, because you can effectively have 2 of these in your hand. Being already in turn 10, you can actually heal for 20 for 6 mana. That's a lot of health for 6 mana, and you also get 2 3/4s on the board. So it's pretty good. Will you be alive up until then? Maybe, possibly. Priest is able to do a lot of shenanigans. It's an interesting Omega card. I'm not sure it's going to be that useful in Constructed. However, in Arena, I usually don't really talk that much about Arena. If you guys really want to know like everything that is broken and not good with Arena, check out Hyperion. He likes to complain a lot about everything. There are a lot of memes about that, and people mainly know him for that. But despite all that, he's a pretty good and pretty decent, reviewer of what the power levels are for Arena, and you should definitely check him out. Okay, that's about all I'm gonna say about this one. Next we have a 1 mana Paladin card with a really cool artwork, definitely cool. So Auto Defensive Matrix, a secret. So we get a new secret. When one of your minions is attacked, give it Divine Shield. Now that is interesting, because it allows you to not only deny an attack, your minion still survives, you get to do a little bit of damage depending on what that minion is that was supposed to die, forcing your opponent to maybe do another trade as well, or utilizing another card in conjunction with the minion that already attacked. So it forces your opponent to do a little bit more than he initially intended to go through his board clear or whatever it is that he wanted to do. This might lead to Secret Paladin coming back again. I don't know if that's going to be the case. We do have a secret minion in play. I think it's the Pogo Hopper or something like that. I forgot its name. It's a 4 mana 4/3 that has Battlecry and Deferral. The Battlecry puts a secret from your deck in play, and the Deferral does the same thing. So once the minion also dies, then you also get another secret. This might be able to push that kind of archetype a little bit over the edge and actually make it a little bit more viable. Until now, Paladin didn't really have like the secrets that it needs to push that archetype to be viable. So we'll just have to experiment with Auto Defense Matrix and see if that can push it over the limit. If that doesn't work, this might be good in aggressive Paladin, so you might want to play this as your only secret, maybe alongside Argent Protector. I think Get Down, that can work as well, because that minion actually, together with this spell, gets Divine Shield. It blocks the attack, it saves your other minion from getting hit, and it also leaves you on the board with another extra 2/1 that your opponent still has to kill. So it might be good in Odd Paladin, oddly enough. We just have to see. Because that Paladin is already packed with a lot of stuff. But it could be interesting. I mean, getting that out really fast might actually influence the game in a different way. Okay, here we have Dr. Boom, Mad Genius. 7 mana, because he has to be with 7. He's Dr. 7. Everyone knows that in Hearthstone. That is also why he is getting 7 armor. Now, his Battlecry is, for the rest of the game, your mechs have rush. Now, they could have actually not made it a Battlecry. They could have just said what it does. Whatever, it's a Battlecry. So all of your mechs have rush. Essentially, everything that you have in your hand, if it's a mech, you can automatically dictate a trade immediately. So, control mech warrior can be a really good thing. Also, his hero power is really interesting because it's a hero power that switches each turn. There are 6 outcomes, from what I know. There are 6 outcomes, and each of them is really powerful. One is gain 7 armor, one is summon a couple of little boom bots that are also max, so they have charge and they do extra damage. You know, boom bots. It's 1/1 that when it dies, it throws a bomb. Plus, you can discover other mechs, so keep that train going, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna do a more in-depth review when I actually do this review yet once more for separate channel review. Boomsday you know what I mean. It's a good card. It is a good card. Hey, Rapier. Smorky. Smork. Welcome. Next we have Unexpected Results. Now this is an interesting card because it's effectively a spellstone. Hey man, how you doing? It's effectively a spellstone, so that means it can get improved. So this one says summon 2 random 2-cost minions. I don't know exactly. Hey honey. I don't know exactly. When this gets improved, does it summon more random 2-cost minions, or does it summon 2 random 3-cost minions and then summon 2 random 4-cost minions? I have to check this out further, but it incentivizes you to play spell damage, which we did see some new cards revolving around that. Is it good enough? Maybe. You want to control the board, so I guess this could be like another way of flooding a little bit the board, allowing you to have some more viable things that aren't really minions in your deck, so revolving also around spells, giving you more random boards that you can fight back with a little bit until you get to your late game, your Frostless Jaina and your really important elemental synergies. But Big Mage already utilizes a lot of spells and trying to control the board through those spells. So I don't know if that's actually going to work. Maybe there's going to come, like a hybrid deck that goes into really aggressive to mid game and to late game board control kind of style. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I don't think this card is that good, but it's definitely an interesting take on the whole spell damage theme. Okay, here we have another project card, and this one's Broken AF. Why is it Broken AF? Well, one of the most annoying thing is it's in Warlock. Warlock already has a lot of support and a lot of good stuff. Warlock cards are really good. This one's a 2-mana spell and it's a demonic project. We already know that projects, tend to mess with both players. So this one says each player transforms a random minion in their hand into a demon. Now, a demon for you is really good because you don't really care. A demon is something in plus that you can play for your Gul'dan because you are running Gul'dan. So that's an extra demon that you might summon. It could give you another Doomguard. It can give you a Dreadlord. Pit Lord. It can give you a lot of stuff. Void Lord. A lot of lords in here. Okay. The second thing is, now you might say, why would I want to give a demon to my opponent? He might get the same thing. Sure, but he doesn't utilize it like the same. You might give him a little, demon imp, whatever, that deals 3 damage to him, or a succubus. That's also a demon, and it forces him to discard another card. Plus, and this is the most important thing of all, you actually transform one of their minions into a random thing. So it's a polymorph in their hand. They don't even get to play that minion, and it's already polymorphed. And if you hit like a Shudderwalk or a Hadronox or something like a Lich King or something like that, something really of value, you're already messing with them on a really high level. And you have 2 of these in the deck. So if you're going against really high tempo control based decks that revolve around specific synergies and specific cards that make them function really well, or combo out specific things like Malygos, for instance, you can wait for opportune moments where you know that your opponent doesn't have that many things, and you can try to fish out that one specific combo card that makes their deck work and just annihilate it completely. Definitely a good card. I think this is going to be in almost every control warlock that there is going to be from now on ever in existence. This card is going to be in that deck. Okay, next we have one of the cutest things, and people say this is bad, or a couple of people say this is bad. I like this card. I think this card is cool, really cool. It's a weaponized piñata. What more can you say about that? And it gives you a random legendary. Now, legendaries are sometimes meh, sometimes and sometimes really good. It's a 4-mana 4/3. You actually want this thing to die as fast as possible. Maybe your opponent doesn't want to kill it that fast, and that leaves you with more options to magnetize the living shit out of this thing and start pushing face damage or taking a lot of value trades, forcing your opponent to actually deal with it and giving you another legendary in your hand. So it has a lot of potential, in my opinion. That's about it for the piñata. I can't wait to play this thing. Next we have La Recruiter. It's a 2-mana 3/2, so really good stats. It's a rogue card, and it says Bellcry, shuffle 3 copies of a friendly minion into your deck. So it's basically gang up, but only on your own minions. So this way you can't really fatigue it. You can do a lot of combos. You can put specific things inside of your deck, not allowing you to ever go out of, value. This is a good rogue card, and it's probably going to be in every rogue card from now on. Even tempo rogue and aggro rogue and odd rogue. No, odd rogue, not, because it's too cost. Sorry. But all the other ones. This is a good card. This is definitely gonna be played around with. Imagine Tess Rogue getting a bunch of other Tesses. 3 more Tesses in your deck. 1 Tess can be broken enough, and she can win you the game. Allowing you to play that multiple times, ooh-ah, that can be sweet. Okay, now we have a Warlock card, a 5-mana 4/5, So not the best of the stats. Omega card. Omega Agent. Okay. So it's just a vanilla 5 mana 4/5, which is bad for stats. If you play it before you have 10 mana. If you play it, however, on 10 mana, you actually summon 2 copies of this minion. Now, in Constructed, you might not want to run this. However, you might run it in a stupid-ass zoo kind of deck that goes all in, and then if you take it as long as turn 10, you just flood the board with 4/5s. That might be decent value enough. Plus, if you play Prince Kaliseth, then you're actually gonna get 5 mana 3/5/6s on the board, so that's pretty powerful. And on 10 mana you can actually play 2 of these, so you can effectively get 6 minions on the board. They're hard to deal with. I'm definitely gonna try it out. I think it's a good card, at least for an kind of an experimental, because we are in the whole experiment phase, and trying to do a lot of projects and whatnot. One thing's for sure, in Arena this card is busted. And here is the cute card of the set. We have Faithful Lumi, a 1 mana 1/1, so not a 0 cost card. However, this is a mech, so it synergizes with all of your other mechs. You can give another friendly mech +1/+1. So playing this on turn 1 is maybe not the best thing that you can do. However, if you have something else, another low cost mech that you have, and you're maybe going second and you have the coin, you can play a 1-drop that is also a mech. Maybe, I don't know, like even the 0/2 shield guy, I believe that's a mech. Maybe I'm wrong. However, if we get any kind of mech, you can add 1/1 to it. Pretty good. And this guy's cute. Definitely cute. Next we have 5 mana 4/6, so interesting stats. Reckless Experimenter. It's an epic card for priests, and it says Deferral minions you play cost 3 less. That's interesting already. But die at the end of the turn. This is gonna definitely incentivize some really broken combos and a specific priest archetype. It's probably not well thought out yet until we have like a look at all of the cards and all of the possibilities, but this card is definitely gonna help push a specific archetype over the top. We don't know exactly how viable it's going to be, but it might be there. Tier 1, Tier 2, I would say at least Tier 3 kind of deck that will revolve around Reckless Experimenter. Another priest minion. This is a 2 mana 2/1, so the stats aren't that great. It's a mech again. Dead Ringer. Deferral, draw a Deferral minion from your deck. So this allows you to search specific things in your deck. It's kind of like a loot hoarder, but it draws you a specific Deferral minion. So you can't really get bullshit from it. You can specifically do your big combos that you want to do, revolving maybe around specific Deferral minions, such as Cube maybe. And this allows you to fish for those specific minions easily. Hey. Tu? I thought it was the cats. But Whiskey's here. Ma speriat. Okay. And lastly, I believe this is the last card that is new that we didn't review. We have Kongor's Endless Army. So it's a 7 mana spell, legendary spell. for Paladin, and it says resurrect 3 friendly mechs. They keep any magnetic upgrades. Okay, now that's interesting. So if you want to play mechs, you really want to go on the magnetic route and start building up some really interesting big magnetic minions. And it doesn't really matter because you can start off with one mech and then pushing your magnetic synergies on that mech until it dies. Then you just restart over. You do that with the second mech that you actually get to summon and start applying magnetic shenanigans on that guy. You do whatever you can. You take trades, you go face, you do damage, you do deferral stuff, whatever it is that those mechs will do. Then you play your third one, and by the time you get to Kongor's Endless Army, you're pretty sure to have at least 3 or 4 minions that died and have at least some magnetic synergies on them. And then for 7 mana you get to resummon 3 of them, and making it pretty annoying for your opponent, probably, because magnetic bullshit is going to be really broken, especially with the magnetic legendary. If you get that card back, it's going to give you a lot of value. It has Taunt, Divine Shield, Rush, Lifesteal, so it's really good. I think this is going to push the mech archetype a little bit further. And I believe that, that was the last card. So Mulch Muncher, Rug Muncher, we already talked about that guy. I'm actually going to wrap it up for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that news-wise, there wasn't really a whole lot. There's a new Tavern Brawl. It's really nice. I would suggest going with Warlock and pretty much controlling the board with your demons and getting a lot of huge demons. I did end up doing that today, however my video file got corrupted, so I have to recuperate the entire 3 hours worth of my stream to be able to show it off to you guys on my YouTube channel. I'm NibletK. I hope you guys have a great night, a nice evening, a great morning, depending on wherever you are in the world. Hope you guys enjoy Hearthstone to the fullest and be excited for the Boomsday project, which is coming August 7. So up until then, do your quests, grind it out, take care of that gold, don't spend it, keep it there safe for the new expansion. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.